Humans delighted, welcome. I am this person, and we're all here to do this thing. This
Hello,
thing being
this
the show.
person.
Yeah, thanks. Today's GM Appreciation Day, but if you're watching this on YouTube, it's no longer GM Appreciation Day. So don't feel like you have to say anything to me, idiots.
Yeah,
Baka.
get fucked, GM.
I was cleaning up the unfinished section of my basement, desperately looking for checks.
Like checks mix?
No,
like
check. Well, something you would write on to tell the bank to send money to a place. Apparently, the United States government has determined that I owe them an extremely small amount of money in taxes, which I would love to pay them, but the only possible way I can pay them is with a check, which I have not written a check in like 4 years. So I went to see if I could still go find my checks. I had hundreds of checks, can't find the folder I left them in. Also can't find all my financial
How
information.
fucking difficult was that, Arthur? I literally found my American checkbooks. I'm in Poland now, bitch.
I had to order a new set of checks.
Dave, I see you're a Wells Fargo man.
The minimum number of checks I could order was like hundreds. So I'm going to get a big pile of checks I'm never going to use.
I know how you feel, AP. I've been filling out paperwork for my Curio and Relic.
I can't get rid of them. I'm not allowed to.
My Curio and Relic federal firearms license, and they finally have updated the paperwork. Like I did one set of paperwork, and it's like, oh yeah, you can only pay by like money ordered check, and then like a month later, I something happened to it. I think I spilled something on it or whatever. I had to redo it, and it's like, oh yeah, or you can just put like debit card details. I'm like, yes. I don't have to find my checks to pay the fucking ATFs.
So I lived in America from 2011 through to like 2015. And the entire time I was absolutely fucking flabbergasted. First world country, right? The one country you think about that's like the most first world thing you could ever get. Banking system in the fucking Stone Ages. Had to pay rent with a goddamn checkbook. Like, never in my entire life have I written a check before I moved to America, and I never had to write a check ever again after I left America. Like,
I think it really depends on where you are, and it's not like, for example, my previous apartment that I lived in, when it was right before we started doing the cyberpunk thing, Dave, like the first time, like the first game we did with you, and this is like northeastern Alabama, small town USA. And I paid my rent through, I just went through like my bank thing and like auto paid whatever. But like you lived in San Fran and had to do it via check. And here I am in bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, and I'm able to just pay it digitally to my landlord. Like
the best part was that I wasn't allowed to mail them a check. Oh no. I had to deliver it in person.
Oh yeah, I had to, when I was a renter, I had to drop it off in person. It was a pain in the fucking ass.
This check thing has gotten way out of hand. It was just a prelude to talking about how I found my 3rd and a half edition D&D Player's Handbook and my Psionics Handbook, which I like much better because you could get some real bullshit ass classes out of that.
Well, they're coming back.
How many additional books do you have for 3.5?
These are the only 2 that I have. This one has been so used, you can see it's literally falling apart. I mean, it's actually barely inside of this thing. It extends below.
Yeah.
That's the hardcover, yeah?
Yes. This has traveled to at least 2 continents.
That was honestly the best thing Paizo did. And they're like, guess what? Books for everyone online. And it's like, oh God.
Yep.
Because when I switched from 3.5 to Pathfinder, I had a buddy of mine who was moving somewhere or whatever. Maybe he was transferring because he didn't, whatever. Anyway, I sold him all of my 3.5 and like all like any like splat stuff. I just sold it all to him for like, because it's like, it's gonna sit on shelf because I switched to Pathfinder. It's like whatever, just like it's like $50, whatever. It got something out of it rather than it just eventually getting thrown away or whatever. So I just gave them to him and I'm like, I don't need them anymore. So the Warhammer books are the only ones that I still buy in physical versions anymore.
So, anime's good again. Is it? Say. It is.
What is it? What are we? I think the last time I watched anime was like around the time that I was still streaming diligently. So maybe 2016.
My Hero Academy is what I've been getting caught up on. Science Types Fall in Love has been pretty okay.
Okay, I don't know that one.
It's pretty new. I mean, I think it just ended. And of course, Dr. Stone. The manga has been fucking insane lately. I know you don't agree with me, Dave, but
No,
when they were
the
like,
manga has been
that
good.
voice, it's you, and everyone's like, oh, it is you, and he's like, hey, that's right, that is my voice, and everyone's like, are you the bad guy? And he's like, hey, cliffhanger.
No,
And I was like,
man,
God damn, that was real good. And then the next episode, he's like, all right, now our plan is to go to the moon. And everyone's like, yep, go to the moon. That's pretty normal.
No, here's the thing. Here's what the thing. They'll say go to the moon, but that literally means like 400 to 500 chapters of manga building a space
Listen,
rocket.
they've solidly been doing set ridiculous task, achieve it within 30 chapters.
Yeah, but going to the moon in this instance won't be going to the moon.
I don't know. We'll
think.
see. We'll see. They'll probably get. Listen, they did. I don't know if you saw. They did an offshoot thing about his dad on the International Space Station, and out of nowhere, there's an AI robot floating around. I think that they did that spin-off so that when they do the setup, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, the AI robot's still in space and helps you out," and I'll be like,
until you
"Fuck
get
that shit."
until you get 10 issues in, and they get blown off to the Delta Quadrant.
Listen, don't even talk to me about the Delta Quadrant, okay? That leaves scars on my heart. Scars on my heart. Voyager could have been so much better. It was pretty good, but it could have been
Apparently,
better.
Picard is not good.
You know, I heard the first episode of Picard was amazing. All I could hear is everybody saying Picard's so great, so great. And then, like, all weekend, people are like, man, Picard is some real bitch-ass trash. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did your opinion change that quick?
I heard all good. I heard all good
first,
until like episode 3 or 4, and
yeah,
then
the first 2 were good, and then they went like full on. What was the newest one before that? Discovery or whatever, where they just like it's such.
What are we fucking
Star
talking
Trek.
about?
We're talking about Star
Trek.
Is there a new Star Trek?
Yeah,
Yes,
they
it's
brought
called Picard.
back
Picard.
fucking why can't I think of it? Yeah, well, Picard, but I was trying to think of the guy's name.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Jesus
Sir
Christ.
Patrick Stewart.
Sir Patrick Stewart. Probably some other letters in there somewhere, but yeah, they did the same thing they did with, I think, Discovery is what it was called, where they just went full on.
Is he just like old man Picard in retirement that has
He
to
literally
come back for
he
one
ran
last trip?
he ran like a winery or something.
Patrick Stewart looked like an old man in the 90s on Star Trek The Next Generation.
I mean, he stopped aging though.
In one of the episodes of Star Trek, Q has 3 Picards at the same time. He's got young Picard, regular Picard, and then he's got old Picard running a winery. And all 3 of them have to complete a task at the same time in all of their timelines. So the fact that he ends up running a winery is 100% canon.
So, but is that what the story is? Is he just
An old man running a winery? I think so.
Ah, shit! Time to come back and put on my Picard belt and become.
I thought I was out, but they
again.
pulled me back in.
From what I understand, and this was like
Now, a helicopter lands in his winery, and he's like, looking over the horizon at this guy, and a military man comes up in a suit, puts the thing down, and goes, "Picard, we need you one last time." And Picard's like, "I retired 25 years ago," and then he's like, "But we're pulling you back. It's space time." And he's like, "Ah, shit, motherfucker, let's go." And then he goes into space with his dog. That's what should happen.
Well, from what I understand, it was like a forced retirement situation, and then he was really like whatever, and they had to he has to overcome the grudge and go back into service or whatever.
It's not forced retirement. The thing was there was some war, and they tried to save a whole bunch of their enemy, but then that turned out to be a trap.
Oh, they pinned a bunch of shit on him. Is that what happened?
Yeah, well, that's what
literally led the Borg Vanguard, and in Deep Space Nine, the first episode, they slammed him for it. Sisko was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you better get out of my office. You killed my wife and child," or something like that. And everyone was like, "No, you can't say bad things about Picard." He's like, "From my point of view, Picards are evil."
It was he tried to save a whole bunch of Romulans, which are the bad guys of the Star Trek universe.
Wow,
and then the terrorist thing happened, and they got ordered to pull out, and Picard didn't. So he directly disobeyed an order in order to save people, and then that turned into a massive massacre, like 3 billion people dead, and then he left stars for after that.
3 billion people. It's so few.
And then like the Borg something are happening, and more cybernetic robots like Data.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it sucks, it sucks. I guess I don't have anything else to follow up with besides my 3.5 books. Spootnik, what do you got going on?
Well, next week, the wife and I are going to be in Ireland for just under 2 weeks. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to get the coronavirus and get quarantined and live on a hillside for a while.
You're going to get a corona, which is not the same thing as coronavirus.
You're not going to get a corona in Ireland.
No.
You could literally have any brew you wanted, Spooty, as long as it's Corona. Yeah.
Even if you got the coronavirus,
I understood
Ireland,
that reference.
you would sterilize yourself. Like within the week or two you're there, you would sterilize yourself. It's fine.
It'd be that night. It'd be sterilizing.
Listen, Spooty, if you do get the coronavirus, I heard if you drink 24 liters of water a day for 2 weeks straight, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Just like star or like diagonal wipe a week in the future, and you see Spooty in like a back to tank full of 100 proof, whatever.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is if I ever got it, like I'm pretty sure coronavirus. Like I'd get coronavirus, and then the rest of my body would just be like, "You came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker."
Yeah.
It's like all I imagined was just that scene from Dragon Ball with Goku sitting in the thing, and it's just Spooty, and it's just 100 proof. It's like, should we wake him up? It's like, no, he's not ready yet. And then when you're done, you just fly out. Yeah.
So yeah, we it should be a good time. We booked it. We actually used a travel agent that my mom had used. She went to Italy last year, and we just didn't feel like going through the hassle of booking the flights, finding the places to stay, and everything. But rather than do like scheduled tours, I said, look, you can give us a couple of day tours, like in Dublin or wherever, or out on the West Coast. But I said, we are going to want to do just a lot of stuff on our own because that's how we like to travel. So for most of the time, we're just going to be road tripping around Ireland in a rental car, which is going to be awesome. But we're also, because we went through a travel agent, we're staying in like 4 and 5 star luxury hotels, which is ridiculous. But that should be fun too. It'll be nice and relaxing. We don't normally. Yeah, we're going to visit castles. We're actually going to our second to last night there. We are actually staying in a castle. On the western side of Ireland.
That's awesome, man.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, it costs a little bit more money to do it. We don't normally travel that way. We're normally like an Airbnb / hostel type place. But it's for our honeymoon, so we splurged. So.
Oh yeah, man, that's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
Well,
and didn't have to pay for a wedding.
Ideally, exactly. I was gonna say once in a lifetime.
Exactly. We didn't have to pay for the wedding, so that kind of helps. If we had to pay for the wedding, we would not be doing this. So,
yeah, we've got a wedding we're going to go to in July. It's in Croatia. So we're just what we did. We're like, okay, let's find a house right next to the beach, and then we're like, okay, great. How far is the nearest town? That far, sweet. I can buy booze in one run and then just sit on the beach the rest of the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I want to do, man. I just want to go there. I just want to dip my toes.
Wasting away in Margaritaville?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, the plan is that we drive to where we're staying. some of the hotels are kind of out in the country, but the other ones that we're staying at, are right in the middle of the city. So like we can just park the car and then, okay, now we can walk to see all the historical stuff during the day. And then at night we can just drink our asses off in the pubs. And we're going to be there for St. Patrick's Day, which is going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But should be, I feel like there's 2 times you should go to Ireland, either in the summer or for St. Patrick's Day. So we went for St. Patrick's Day. So it'll be a little bit colder. It'll probably be a little under 50 degrees Fahrenheit for highs, which isn't too bad, honestly. And there'll probably be quite a bit of rain, but I even just looked at like the 15-day forecast, and I've been told that you can't really go by that, but there is not a whole lot of rain in the forecast so far, so that's nice.
I got a follow-up for you, man.
Yeah.
Someone commented on the Twilight Imperium video.
Oh, is that out?
Yeah. So they said, Arthur, pull in that game developer logic on Spootnik. When I created a problem for you and then I sold you the solution, and then the solution cost you even more money to implement.
Wait,
And they were like, yeah, you really tricked Spootnik. It seems like you really bought that you were on his side, even though you forced him into that situation. I was like,
yeah,
shh, don't tell him then.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check that video out.
I think it was in the part 2.1 video.
Okay. But yeah, that's why going on. So we're pretty much in. My wife, she does digital marketing, and her department basically got laid off, like the whole department. And she has been running a fashion blog for like 10 years. And now she's gotten to the point, though, where she doesn't need to get a job. She's on my health insurance, and she's making actually a little bit more money just doing her thing. So we're going to incorporate some of our trip into her blog as well. Check out some thrift stores over there. And because that's what she does. She goes to thrift stores and buys some ugly looking nasty thing for like $1 or less, and then transforms it into something like stylish and fashionable. So that'll be fun. We're going to do some of that. It'll be interesting. It's going to be fun. I'm ready to go. I wish I was leaving tomorrow.
So that. Drumurboy.
I'm Drumurboy. I make music, put it on the internet. Sigil is out. Also, the new pack, the first half of the new pack called Synthwave is out. It's like a updated version of Retrowave that they did 2 years ago. I did the sound design for. I'm doing the sound design for this one as well. Just waiting for all the assets to come in so I can start working on that. Working on a really weird Shirley Temple synthwave project right now too for music, and then just kind of prototyping and like brainstorming the next couple projects.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to support me, go listen to my music on Spotify and buy Sigil, the Magic Elemental sound pack. Oh, nerd or die. Haven't been doing much else. I downloaded Underlords, the Dota auto chess standalone again today. So they're out of early access now. They're on their season 1. So play that until the new Destiny season comes out, and then those are my games for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Atomic.
I do occasionally go by such a name. I haven't been doing too much. I've been buying ammo and then buying parts for a new AR build and waiting for those to come in, and then getting hyped for the Rogue Trader game that will be coming hopefully soon. So that'll be fun.
Wait, Rogue Trader, like the tabletop game into a PC game?
No, RPG. So that'll be that should be pretty good. I can't wait to see what the hell Arthur's gonna do. I just keep imagining this really weird Texan voice for you, Arthur, and I don't know why. I don't know why I'm attributing that, but it's just the idea that you have. I'm just like, I could see that happening. So
No, I'm gonna go for something like mid-Atlantic or Northeast, fake British.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm thinking something along the lines. Haven't perfected, haven't really practiced it yet, but something like in the name of the Holy Emperor, it is I, Nero Julius Augustus Bullet.
That should be interesting to see.
The third.
I already am a third. I don't need to make my characters a third.
Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll also be interesting to see what happens to Sid. I hope we don't have to blame him. I'm just saying, the last 4 games I've been in that have had psychers in them, 3 of them have had to been killed by other players.
I know.
So that's rule number 1: is always kill the psyker first.
I've literally had one opportunity to play a psyker as a game master, and it immediately got taken over by a demon because the players are fucking assholes.
We had, I was in a Dark Heresy game, I don't know, about 2.5, 3 years ago, and we had a psyker who found a sword that talked to him, but only him. And none of the rest of us knew this. And he ended up getting possessed by the demon in the sword, and then we had to kill him. And then it was like this whole thing, because we didn't see it coming, because he wasn't getting like a bunch of Perils of the Warp rolls or whatever else. It's just he was making behind the screen these rolls to stay in control of this blade. And then he finally, however many failures, whatever, like towards the end of the campaign, and he
snapped.
It was just out of nowhere. Like, we killed some dude or whatever, and then he failed his final check, and then all of a sudden there's just like a rip, and he gets like partially sucked into the warp, and then this just mass somewhere, like this giant, like it was a bloodletter, but it's like a bigger, like a bloodletter alpha, like a bigger one, like the equivalent of, like, I don't know, like a sergeant or whatever. It's just a bigger, more powerful version. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? And it's right after we finished fighting the BBEG of the campaign, so we're fucked up, trying to do Medicaid stuff, whatever. We're low on ammo, whatever, the whole thing. And all of a sudden now there's this fucking demon problem. It's just, oh God. So he almost killed 2 more party members. We finally managed to put him down. And then it was like, fuck. So every time somebody plays a non-Space Marine psyker, I'm just like, I really hope we don't have to kill him. Like, it's a distinct possibility. We'll have to put Sid into the ground. So that'll be fun to see. So
No, just with his roles, a little bit of sororitas blood every day.
With his roles, I'm expecting Sid to be dead very, very quickly. So we'll see what happens. But it should be pretty fun. It sounds like everybody's got some eclectic. We're gonna have a very eclectic bunch of characters. So, and I don't think we really know what Pondo's gonna be like personality wise. So I'm kind of hoping he goes kind of silly with it.
I expect him to be basically just like.
Well, he's been breaking out a couple different like personalities and stuff for his 5e game. So I'm just interested to see if he'll
we'll see
what he'll do.
I think it'll be exactly like
maybe
a suicidal guy that's in charge.
I mean, really, he's not that suicidal though. I mean, up until like the last couple of missions, remember, he's like, he would get fucked up from range, but he would stay further back and let the rest of us
He's constantly just like, is there a chance that I could be killed in this situation? Or I could do the other one and stay safe. Let's do the one where I could be killed.
I think he stayed safe more.
Go meet alone with a big bad guy in a secure room?
He killed him in like 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
Aye, Sergeant Deathwish.
He didn't know that it would go like that. He believes that the fight would end with him dying horribly.
Over the course of the campaign,
maybe I should use a heavy flamer. And James is like, you will burn yourself in the entire room.
He was also in power armor,
I should still use the heavy flamer, though, right?
I mean, if it was just Lycus, like basic bitch Lycus, it's one thing. But he had 1, a heavy flamer, and 2, was in like the equivalent of Space Marine power armor walking in there. So plus he had air support, and I mean, granted, he was in the building, but there were some other factors there. He wasn't just like, oh, I'm just going to walk into the room, like. But I think over the course of the campaign, between both the RPG and the 8th edition battles, he's played it fairly safe compared to how many times Sid, myself, and I guess James really kind of got away with it, but I guess he was a sniper, so that's fair enough. But Sid and I got fucked up a lot. So I'd be interested to see if he's a little bit more gung ho as a rogue trader.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting to see. I'm excited for that.
I
So
want to read Captain Deathwish's self-help novel.
No.
but
You
yeah,
go into every situation expecting to die, and you don't. You're doing good.
How to get into trouble 101. Got anything else?
Like a Centauro, hero of the Imperium. Nah, it's pretty much it. It's just been kind of a slow couple of weeks or week, I guess. Yeah.
All right, Henley, what do you got?
Hello, friends, companions. How is everything? I'm good. Video game stuff, man. We're getting close to releasing Outer's Blood. That comes out on the 13th of this month on Switch, so that'll be fun. Steam will be roughly about 30 days later. The porn stuff is going good. Nothing to complain there. We released the Steam profile for the game. It's doing pretty good. A lot of traffic's going that way. Just today, we had our website cover the game. It's not even out yet, so a lot of people are backing that and looking at it and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. What else? Everything's going good over there, man. Can't really complain too much about that. Nothing really. Oh, I got a new phone. My last one wouldn't hold a charge, so instead of buying like an expensive one, I just bought a shit one, and the battery lasts 2 fucking days, so I'm happy with that. That's really all I need in a phone.
Honestly, I'm the same way, my man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so this one has like that Android One OS, which is where it's like not a Google phone, but they don't fuck with the OS. So
the OnePlus, I switched because I used to get Samsung phones back when, because my dad he's a regional manager for T-Mobile, whatever. So anyway, we used to get a company discount on phones, like a fairly substantial discount, because working for the company for 20 years, surprising how that works, right? Whatever. So I would get to I had the S1 through S4, and then I got sick of having to root the phone to get rid of Samsung's bullshit. So I just switched out to unlocked phones. I started with I had the OnePlus One, I had a OnePlus X, and then right now I have a OnePlus 5, which it essentially does the same thing, where it's as basic bitch of Android as you can get with a slightly faster interface, and that's it. And I was paying half the price of like flagship phones for like 95% of the capability. It's like, why the fuck would he pay $1,000 for a phone when I can get 95% of the capability for less than half the price? So
yeah, this phone, $100 US for this one. So real good. I don't know. It does what it needs to do. That's really all that matters. Yeah. I just read books on it, so it's not like I need anything.
That's the same way. Audiobooks and music is about all I use my phone for these days.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, like as I said, we've got a thing going on and heading over to Croatia for a wedding and stuff. And I don't know, man, my weeks are just super busy. Like I go to work at 6 a.m. I come back at 6 p.m. Lots of stuff happens in between then and then. Oh, I moved office in a blizzard, like a snowstorm. That was fun. That's an achievement unlocked, I think. So, yeah, man. I mean, like shit. I had everything like tons ready in here in my brain to just sort of unload. But ultimately, all it is like, yep, working on smut, getting shit done. I guess in reality, things are going super well for the company. Like we're getting more investment, we're getting all that sort of stuff. So right now, things are going super well. Though I just really want to talk about this Animal Crossing. Can someone who here has played Animal Crossing a lot, like
never played it? I
played a very tiny bit of the first one because we had a GameCube in the house.
Never played it.
But I do like how somebody compared said Animal Crossing is essentially The Sims for furries, and I cannot think of it as anything else. It's just really funny to me.
And
I
just
mean,
really
like,
Don't put
I
that
just really
hex
like
on
the
me.
crossovers between like the
Doom.
Doom character and Isabella or whatever.
I mean, like, honestly, that's like the most wholesome meme that I'm ever willing to accept into my heart, to be very honest with you. And all things considered, I'm willing to give it a chance because right now my gaming quota, maybe I can maybe fit 40 minutes during the workday where I can just sit down and just turn my brain off because I'm working like fucking 13, 14 hours a day on this game stuff. If I sit down and play Animal Crossing for 40 minutes in the office, no one would give a shit. Like, because I'm the first one there, last one to go home every single fucking day. And it's just like, yeah. So that's why it'll work for me because I always have the Switch in my bag. I never use it for anything, only to check the store prices on where our games are at and stuff like that. Because you can't, fun fact, you can't check your store placement where you are in terms of popularity, hit list, anything like that, unless you have a Switch, which is very interesting. Like we have these, like a very powerful backend for checking Steam sales data and that sort of stuff, but it doesn't tell you where you sit on the terms of popularity list. Like they don't have that stuff on a web end back end anywhere. So in order to do that, you have to log into a Switch, which is very strange. But you know, it's whatever. It's the only thing I use my Switch for at the moment because I stopped playing Fire Emblem because that game got a little boring for me, and I just sort of ran out of time. But yeah, you know.
I'm going back as soon as I can muster the courage, but
people are super hype about it. And my sister's played all of them since the first one, and she's super hype about it too. And so she loves it. Like she got into Animal Crossing instead of The Sims because I played all the PC games in the house, and she played the console games mostly. So I was busy hogging a PC back before I had my own, playing like fucking Doom and Quake and shit, and Unreal Tournament, and, you know, EverQuest or whatever. And she was playing like stuff on like GameCube and whatever. So I know she's really hype about it, and it seems super popular, and it's like it's got all like if you like that kind of like here's a town and here's stuff like some customization stuff and like some certain
really
tasks or whatever it like checks all those boxes.
What really gets me, this one seems to be a little bit more focused with giving you like a checklist of things to do, which is kind of what I want from a game. But at the same time, I'm a huge fan of like Harvest Moon games. Not so much like the Stardew Valley style of game, but like Harvest Moon, where it's like you're given a pile of garbage to fix up. The other Animal Crossings didn't really have that whole mentality of going from a pile of garbage to something really nice. At least
from what I know, just via osmosis from my sister, they were very much of, oh, here's a basic bitch like house or thing, and you can upgrade them, but it wasn't a like, oh, everything's fucked and you need to fix it. It was just you start with nothing and just have to work your way up. You're not working from like a negative, I guess. So, but
I don't know anything about it. It's just people seem really excited, and I want to have something I'm excited for.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I want to give it a real good fucking chance. And I mean, the best game that I'm going to make in my entire career, I can tell you right now, will be the fishing survival game where you have to like handcraft a fishing rod and lures and bait and stuff like that, and then the only thing you can do to survive is fishing. Like that'll be my je ne sais quoi. That'll be my like once in a lifetime game.
I once had an idea for a fishing game that was, what was it? Is it not Crusader King? What was the name of those games where like they were like a tower defense, but you like build up a castle doing it? I can't remember what they were. They were like Stronghold, maybe. Whatever. But essentially, you have an entire stronghold whose entire purpose is to protect the fishermen. So the fishermen over here doing serene fishing, and then like 5 blocks away, there's just like the apocalypse of tower defense going on because they're trying to protect the fishermen to meet the fishing quotas as they're assailed by just legions of enemies.
Actually,
like I
might steal that.
It's just it's like, oh, this screen super peaceful. This screen Armageddon. It's just I don't know. It's one of those stupid ideas you have at 3 a.m. after you've had too much whiskey.
I'm gonna steal that idea. That sounds great, actually.
Okay.
I still think the 2-player giant robot kaiju fishing game would be sick.
Yeah, like where 2 people have to like be in sync to like fish. Yeah,
Have you seen that there's a game where it's like you're playing basketball, but I think it's what 3 or 4 players are bouncing around inside these like machines,
Yeah,
like controlling.
I've seen that one.
But
yeah.
if you do that, but for fish, so it's the coordination of having to like switch to different stations and do whatever, that'd be fun to see.
Okay. You got anything else, Dave?
I mean, like, you know, happy GM Appreciation Day. Just learned
Thanks.
that's a real thing today, and you know, like anyone who isn't aware, GM has put in an incredible amount of work to make worlds a reality. Some
90%
GMs,
of which get blown up in a giant nuclear explosion.
yeah, and then we get given surprisingly amount of XP. Like, so, you know, that's always fun. But you know, it's just be mindful of your GMs. That's all you need to do. They don't need a tremendous amount of thanks. Or at least the GMs that I know don't need it. And as long as you enjoy the world and you do your part to make their lives easier, that's all you need to do. You just need to be willing to involve yourself in the world and be willing to participate. And if you do that sort of stuff, the GMs will love playing with you. So.
Learn the rules of your character, like learn how to play your character class well.
I have a philosophical question.
Yeah, all right.
Am I also the game master to all the audience members watching the show, or only the players?
I would say that generally, like, you're like
Crafting the world.
Yeah, I mean, and not. I mean, you are crafting the world, but like to an audience member, you're kind of like the narrative director of the story.
You're the storyteller. I mean, either way, you're the storyteller. You might be the GM only to us, but you're the storyteller to everyone.
Okay, that was an answer.
That was indeed an answer. There were words that were said.
I mean, you are a GM, so GM Appreciation Day applies.
Ah, there we go. I just wanted to know if I was the game master of the audience or not, but that's true. It's just like Father's Day, right? You appreciate all fathers, not just your father.
Yeah.
You might even appreciate the all-father, Odin.
On Mother's Day, I only appreciate Dave's mom.
You know that the most searches for Father's Day are on Mother's Day? They publish the results every year for Google, and it's insane how many people search for when Father's Day is on Mother's Day. They're like,
yeah, you know what's funny? In Poland, they have they really like to celebrate Women's Day. So they're like, okay, well, we should do the same for men. Guess what they call the Men's Day here in Poland?
Poland Day.
No, it's called Boys' Day.
Ah, wrecked.
It's just every day except for Women's Day.
I mean,
No.
in defense of the searching thing, I know when I buy Father's Day gifts, I usually also buy like Christmas. Like if I buy Mother's Day gifts, I'm like, shit, I should go ahead and get like Father's Day gifts for whenever, or you know, like the opposite. Like, because while I'm thinking about it, do it now.
Now, all you need to do is move to another country. Then you're not responsible for any of that shit. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Listen, Amazon will deliver.
Not to Australia, motherfucker.
Okay, well, that's an Australian problem.
That's because Australia isn't real.
All right.
Just like Finland.
Moving on. This is the 49th episode of the show. Next week will be episode 50, which will make it my longest contiguous series.
Well, 3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now.
Oh, shit. Are we off for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
We just had a whole conversation about him going to Ireland.
Listen, I have the memory of a goldfish. I have to check my schedule every 15 minutes to see where I'm supposed to be.
Oh, man, a castle. Ah, dude, a scuba diver. Whoa, a castle.
Don't goldfish actually have decent memory?
Bubbles.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow night is also the 75th episode of BattleTech. And
So wait, wouldn't that be your longest running show?
This is longest running D&D show. Someone pointed out that technically I did 2 seasons of Winter's Edge, which equaled around to like 48 episodes. So we've now beaten that, and we're hitting 50 episodes. Now we just have to beat my Pathfinder series, and then we'll be full. You'll never catch up to BattleTech unless we do more than 6 seasons of this show. But
I mean, to be fair, BattleTech is basically like
it's my flagship.
You set up a war table scenario, and then there's some role playing. You know, I mean, it's not like
Dude.
Hearts and Minds of D&D. Hey, I've played both. I've played both. I know what that is.
I think we could catch up to BattleTech if we did what you did with like the BattleTech talk episode, because usually when we don't have a session, it's because there's only one person missing. So if we have,
I know. I was thinking of doing
sessions. We would easily catch up. I think.
I'm not counting that towards BattleTech's episode list.
Okay, I didn't know if you were counting it or not.
Yeah. I've also released a new series, which is on YouTube now. BattleTech Oath of End of Steel, which is a second show set in same timeline, different time period. Years and years earlier, decades earlier, nobles on a far different world, not mercenaries scrounging for whatever they can get and killing everyone in their way. Check it out.
So are you counting that as one series, or like?
I'm counting them as two different series. They have different names.
Okay.
And there's one episode out. That's what you get, and you get GM prep. And I fucked up the GM prep because I had my microphone track on, but it was on track 2 and it didn't get recorded.
Oof.
Yeah, it's like real bad. So I cut
You can
out.
do like a post.
Yeah, I did something like that. I ended up cutting out about an hour and 20 minutes of my own talking from it. Took a really long time.
When you record, are you just recording everything to one?
I
splitting
was
things
messing around
up?
with audio settings. I was trying to take my audio settings to the next level, and then I forgot to undo it before I did my next show. I was like, nope, this didn't work for me. This is
I know
all
when I
bullshit.
used to record stuff, I'd record stuff like everything was on its own audio track specifically to.
That was what I was attempting to do. It didn't sound good, and it didn't work out. And my recording settings didn't. The final change didn't save that problem. So microphone was still set to 2, but everything else was set to 1, and it only outputted everything on 1. All right. Previously on this show, everybody leveled up. Let's cover how that went, because I don't know what everybody took. I think Dave is now a level 2 warlock, correct?
Yes.
Roll
that
for
is
hit
correct.
points.
Did we
gotta
roll
the
for?
HP.
Nope,
We have
we're
to
rolling
wait
for hit
now.
points right now. It's happening. Dave,
Oh my
give me with
god!
that hit point roll.
Okay. Yeah, it was a D8, yeah.
D8 plus your con mod, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you could just roll it. You could just roll a hit die in this thing too, and auto do it.
No, I want to see it and do it manually. All right, my hit die is 4. Okay, cool. Plus 4. So my con score is plus 4. Yeah. 79 HP. Okay.
Taka, what'd you take? Another level of warlock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight roll
Hit
up.
us with that D8.
Question. I
Yeah.
took a feat that increased my con, which pushed it over the.
It's retroactive.
Retroactive. You'll get
retroactive?
all of the extra levels worth of HP.
Correct.
Okay,
You're
so
about
I'll
to pick
get
up a lot.
this. I'll get this plus 7. Correct.
Did it increase
Yeah.
your con by 1 tier?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah, if you got another con mod, yeah, it's retroactive.
So 17.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Good gains. Good gains.
That's really good for
Heavy lifting.
It's
a warlock.
81
Very nice.
total.
8 Grim.
I will.
Barbarian using that real fucking weird D12. That doesn't seem like it was a very good roll for you. That was a
Well,
6. Yeah, it's slightly below average.
yeah, I've got a con of 4. I will point out for the audience, anybody looking at D&D Beyond, D&D Beyond is borked at the moment, and feats and all the other stuff are broken for some reason, so it's probably not going
Is
to
it?
show up. Yeah, it's still
Mm.
What
broken.
they tell us.
And
Oh yeah, I couldn't. I remember I couldn't do something for the warlock up level or
That's
something.
fine. I sent them a support ticket saying that all 4 of my players were having
but
trouble.
I did take the Sentinel feat for my 8th level.
Hell yeah! Welcome to the
so-
best feat of the game.
No, Warcaster's the
No.
best feat in the game.
Well, not for Barbarian. I mean,
If you
I
have
could. I was
spells.
about to say, yeah. Not for Barbarian, it's not.
Kelly, you do cast spells, idiot.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, it wouldn't be terrible, especially if you have a lot of con stuff. That's a big thing. But,
Oh, thank God. No,
If
I
I
don't. What
wasn't
do you think
using-
you do when you stab demons and they
I
explode?
was gonna say, he's a fucking paladin and a warlock. Like, what the fuck are you going on?
Look, smiting is not spells. Smiting is
Oh,
hitting a dude.
Boy.
Smite, yeah. Smiting is under its own fucking thing of.
It
bullshit.
uses spell levels in order to cast. I don't know how to make it any more spellish.
But yes, I took Sentinel because I don't use two-handed weapons, so great weapon fighting is useless to me at the moment. So
I
as
think
much
you
as
might
I
find
do
that
love power attack.
Warcaster would be surprisingly good for you.
My
Especially the
favorite
part
thing
about not dropping concentration.
Yeah, the concentration thing is a big deal. But
my favorite part about D&D Beyond is when I log in to change something, it's like, yo, do you want that Critical Role stuff? Do you want that Magic the Gathering stuff? How about that Rick and Morty stuff? And I'm like, nah, I'm okay. No, thank you.
Finley Longbottom.
D&D Beyond, show us what you got.
so I'm at 95 HP now, by the way.
Finley Barebottom. It's unbearable that you haven't clawed your way into the hearts of the audience, but
I'm just double checking. Yeah. So I get a second, 4th level spell. So
yeah.
I have prepared Confusion, which
This
hopefully will help
motherfucker
us
right
out. I am remaining a druid. I also no longer have any kind of like movement restrictions on the animal I can turn into. So like I can turn.
Oh.
you can turn into
Lion
CR2
creature.
animals, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be good. And let's see if I can continue my long tradition of rolling a 1 on leveling up my hit points. 4. That's better. So that gets me up to 54.
I don't think I need to recap the last episode because all that really happened was the players
Blue shit up.
decided to fuck up real bad a device. The Finley Barebottom decided to physically throw his body upon a magical generator that operates by outputting deadly poison. In the process, the generator went completely haywire. Everyone involved in the process that could escape attempted to. Deadly poison seeped into all of your equipment. And what we get to now is we see from outside of Denneker's, the inn where Agrim and Kelly are currently getting hugely wasted. And they're
Hugely
getting everyone
wasted.
inside too drunk to walk. We see Finley outside with party compatriots. Riverin, Sylvia, and Egg, Goblin General. The two of them appear to be spreading chalk on the ground, like ritual chalk, in 2 half circles that are meeting. They're moving in opposite directions, and they're making inscriptions on the ground. Finley, all of your newly bought food goods, ice peppers, the frost eels that have been turned black, your allspice, the pickle rock, ground powders, your glacier water is all in the middle of what they're doing right now as they're slowly chanting things, but they're both chanting different streams in different languages.
Are you making ingredients better for the competition?
They look like they're almost completed. Haig holds a hand up as they meet in the center and take 2 different rocks and like bash them against each other in a high five. At that point, you see like white snow begin to come down from above. Everywhere it touches, it leaches some of that black poison out of everything. With the exception of the frost eels, it looks like they've purified all of your food.
Can you teach me this ritual?
That's what we get for picking ingredients outside Chernobyl.
So Haig turns and says, I'm not sure. It is unclear to me if this ritual would even work in the first place. My powers have yet to return to me, but I knew a spell in my time as a cleric, and I assumed I would be capable of working with this young ritualist in order to channel her energies in a direction that I thought would work. This is our first attempt, and it seems to have worked overwhelmingly. So he like picks up some of the ice peppers and like bites a little bit off of the end of one and says, yes, this pepper is, well, it's incredibly hot. My eyes are watering up. You can see the snot coming out of my nose right now. He's like taking a piece of bread and just like overall.
Okay, it's not poison. That's
it's
what
not
the
poison.
does.
Yes, I agree. It's just incredibly
Over the shoulder,
spicy.
slightly out of focus, is the fantasy version of Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
But he
Homer
looks over at the
Simpson
frost
waxing
eels.
his throat.
So you've got 2 frost eel fillets that are still completely black on the outside. But he like breaks one off, and you can see the inside is now delicious and fluffily white. And he says, "The ritual seems to have worked to some extent. I believe these ingredients will be suitable for serving to people who don't wish to die. But I
I'd
am
say,
unsure as to whether these frost eels are consumable."
Well, the inside looks good. We'll just scrape the black stuff off. Yeah.
I agree. I'm sorry, I don't know very much about druids, and you killed my druid, so
I did.
if you flash back, Daka used the druid as a focus for his
Fuck.
reincarnation spell.
Right.
She exploded into a tree.
Yeah.
She volunteered.
Yes, but she didn't know that the archfey would require a sacrifice.
Well,
Neither did you. You didn't know that the archfey would require a
there
However,
was fine print in a language I don't read. So
From
we
his
had to
point of
we had
view-
to choose between her and my hammer, and I wasn't letting the hammer go.
from his point of view, you killed his druid. He says, "I am not privy to the druidic arts. Do you know of the spell Purify Food and Drink?"
No.
Are you sure? You sure that's not on your spell list? Are you absolutely certain?
Are you absolutely certain that it's just not prepared at the moment?
Let me consult my spell book.
Have you considered checking D&D Beyond?
I wouldn't be there anyway, Arthur.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. I looked earlier, and some of my spell stuff looked to be working on another character, so I don't know if the spells are working or not.
the spells work, the feats aren't.
Okay, so they fixed part of the problem.
Yes, level 1.
Yes, you can prepare
Druid.
Purify Food and Drink.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay.
You just don't have it prepared.
You just
Yeah.
don't have it. He says, well, if you don't have it, you don't have it.
Well, I might have it one day. Now that I've seen how it works, I might pick it up. I don't know.
I can't teach it to you. I'm sure you can ask the natural word to imbue you with its force. Or whatever you
But I've
druids
got
do.
you, Haig, so, you know.
Well, this took us 11 minutes, so...
It was 11 minutes well spent.
So
Good
Riverin
work.
is just sitting nearby, looking at the ritual, squatting down, just like, wow, I didn't know we could do that. I wonder what else we can do.
What else can you do?
I don't know.
It doesn't hurt to try.
So she's like, hey, know any ritual spells that can cause people intense pain or death? And
Well, maybe not. Don't do that around the food.
he's just like, I don't, but I will go through my list of undead summoning spells, and maybe we can bring some really nasty creatures forward.
Again, we don't want to kill the people that eat the food. They've got to vote for us first.
We're not going to do it around the food.
Didn't
We'll
I
just-
leave Hag that book that I found with like some spells in it?
Yes. Yes. I mean, he just got done buying books in town and has come back to do this ritual with her.
All right.
Henley, you can see that many people in the town are heading towards the sort of amphitheater area. It's being lit up by torch fire all around it, and some important, including Vice Wondersaw looking fellows, are standing at the bottom of the amphitheater, like gesturing for people to organize themselves, arrive quickly, trying not to cause too much trouble.
I'll go over and see what's going on.
Okay. While that's happening, let's cut back to Drumurboy. You have decided to lock yourself in Vice's mansion and look for information that regards to Stalvin Black and how this country he's created has come to be.
Yeah, historical documents dating back 80 years.
Yeah, so you actually find a journal written by him. It's sort of like a children's book type deal. Like, wow, we're just getting lots of subs all the time, and someone even did a tier
Blasted.
3 sub. So
Blast it. Journal written by
Solvent Black.
Oh,
I will send you the handout for you to peruse. Okay.
oh yeah. I got another 4th level spell. Forgot to mention that when I leveled up.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Got myself some Dimension Door.
Ooh,
Dick.
that's a good one.
Oh yeah, and I got. I guess when I leveled up, I got like some warlocky coolness.
Invocations.
Yeah, invocations. I got the one where I can see in the dark for 120 feet.
Devil's
Double
Sight.
sight.
Devil's Sight, yeah. And I also got the one that lets me read everything, every language.
Common languages. Or not.
Eyes of the Rune Keeper.
That one.
You
Yeah,
can
that's a
read
good
all
one.
writing.
Essentially common languages.
Yeah, because the other ones were like Eldritch Blast modifications. Like, I never use Eldritch Blast. Get the shit out of here.
Daka, you have spent, a few hours researching this. You realize that if you were to spend a week or longer, a week in this world is 10 days, but if you were to spend 7 or more days, and maybe even bribe Vice to guide you in the right direction, as he is the sage of this library, or his butler, you might be able to uncover somewhat more hidden information over the last 80 years. You could learn up to 3 more facts about the local area.
How far away is the cooking competition?
The cooking competition, you've got less than 5 days left on the cooking competition, but it only takes place like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Quick walk.
Yeah, I'm just wondering like how long we're staying here, because if we're staying here for the cooking competition, I'll probably root around for information. But if we're not, then we can just go.
It sounds like something to talk to your party about.
Yeah.
When you head outside, you have no idea where Kelly and Agram are unless you saw them go to the bar earlier, but you definitely catch sight of Riverin and Haig cleaning up some chalk dust, and you catch Finley heading towards the now lit up amphitheater.
I'll probably tail Finley.
Finley's also going to be a werewolf, so it's going to be sweet. He's going to be a werewolf, Swedish.
More like a
elf boy.
bear.
Good.
Yeah.
And
He's
a
like,
bear, yeah.
I could transform into a bear as a werebear, and then after I'm nearly defeated, I'll transform into a bear as a druid to keep my HP up.
Stop.
If a
giving away my
druid,
secrets.
if a druid has lycanthropy, and he's in bear form in the full moon, does the bear swap into a werewolf?
I don't.
Werebear?
It's a bear wolf. Thank you very much.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, but it looks like Riverin's making a friend in Hague, so I'll just leave them. and go ahead
You
and-
got a friend in here.
Research partner. They're performing magic science.
There's more than me and Riverin can do. Like I can barely talk to her.
We cut back to Kelly. You're looking around. You've lost sight of your new friend Rorim.
If I remember last time, you said that I did the normal Kelly thing when I get drunk. So I assume that's why I've lost sight of my companions,
Yes.
I guess.
You don't know where Agram is, and everyone you look at, their faces are kind of blurry to you.
Well, did Kelly leave the bar?
When you stumble into the corner of the bar feeling a little woozy, you start feeling the warmth of a nearby hearth. The atmosphere is dimmer in this corner. There's just candlelight over here. A bard in the corner begins playing some like lute music, and singing softly, and that's when the most handsome man that you've ever seen, the most desirable man you've ever seen, who looks very familiar to you, slams his hand on the wall next to you and leans in close and whispers in your ear,
My
"Hello
name
again."
is Finley.
You recognize him as the incubus that you released in the underground
Oh,
facility.
hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
shit.
Daddy's back in town.
He says, "I don't know how to feel about this new form, but I've been watching you for some time."
Yeah, instant goo goo eyeballs, you know, just like hands all over him sort of thing. Like literally no fucks given as to who's watching, all that sort of stuff. And Kelly's basically just
All
like,
right, so at some point he puts his hand up between the two of you, and it takes like a good 5 minutes, and he's trying to catch his breath. He's like, "This is just a dream, but I wanted to know if you were still interested in our union."
now out of character here, Arthur.
Uh-huh.
Is this like a warlocky thing? Like what?
Nope, this is an incubus literally haunting your dreams, which is exactly what they do. I'll remind you that Agrim knew the incubus has been following you in the other plane, but didn't tell anyone or do anything about it.
Okay.
Well, unless Drumurboy recognized him. 'Cause we teleported in there so he could get a look at him.
Perhaps.
I mean, well, in that case, I basically, I mean, this is the fetish maker for Kelly, essentially, right? So,
This is
Like,
I mean,
Kelly
it
likes
is.
dudes. I mean, yeah,
it
technically.
is. It really is. So Kelly will basically say, nothing has come close. So absolutely.
All right. I mean, we just let the
Unionize
scene
me.
cut there, as you know, it gets hot and
Unionize
steamy.
me.
So, can I
What
explain?
does it look like in real life? Am I just like
You're just passed out
fucking-
drunk on a table.
Oh, so I'm not like
But
orgasming on the floor
You're
or
blushing
something
though,
like that.
right? Like,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
you're probably drooling a little bit too.
I'm like anime protagonist streaming with a little bit of blood coming out my nose.
No, it's just drool, no blood.
Okay. Okay.
Agrim, you're sitting nearby. The dwarven ale has barely affected you at all.
Well, I imagine at some point
You're just
I've
seeing
gotten to,
Kelly go, "Oh."
just a zonk out. Yeah. I mean, I like to imagine if I haven't gotten into a fight with somebody, I've probably gotten into an argument of who could lift more.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Have you
Listen,
ever seen the thing where like
Yeah,
a strong
people will
man,
know.
like they'll have like 6 or 7, like 8 people hold onto the bar, and I'm like got people on a bench, and I'm like
All right.
lifting a bench.
okay, make an athletics check. Well, first make a Constitution saving throw to see how drunk you are.
Okay,
Now this is against poison, so I think as a dwarf,
I get advantage.
you get advantage.
I said Constitution, so 22.
Plus, you can always remove your drunkenness from yourself.
Well, yeah, but I mean
You
that's
cast Basara's wondrous recovery. Yeah. Okay, athletics.
And then I believe I get. Let me double check. I think if it's push, pulling, lifting.
Lifting.
I believe it's for my bear totem. Let's see. Advantage on strength checks made to push, pull, lift, or break objects.
Okay.
So you said strength check.
Yep.
Let's see. That's unskilled strength, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. So 20.
You perform at the peak level that a human could ever possibly achieve, right?
Nice.
A normal human has a 0 modifier, and so a 20 is the highest they could ever get to. And people are impressed by this. You know, they're like, 3 humans, but can you lift 4 of us? And one guy's like, I can do 3. And then before he gets like halfway up, he's straining and then he just passes out drunk on the floor. And you're like, 5 humans? What's that? Hey, you know, then you do it one-handed while drinking.
Yeah. Well, because of the bear totem too, your base encumbrance stuff, I think my base like push, drag, and lift is 600, but because of bear totem, it's doubled. So like 1,200 pounds, just no problem.
Absolutely blew everyone away with not supernatural. You're just at the highest possible level.
Nice.
Finley, Daka, you arrive at the meeting at the amphitheater, and you can hear people talking about how there's so many people that are drunk. No one's going to be able to make it to the auditorium for the audit. Vice says, "Okay, everybody, calm down. Just know we have several hundred guests in attendance, including Korik the fire giant and like like this dude who's sitting at the top of the hill with like his knees out and just like, hello everyone." You recall him from the cooking competition.
Played by Taika Waititi.
He gestures over and says, "And our guests at the hand of Stalvin Black, the demigods who will one day slay the gods for us, set us all free." And like half the people are like, "Boo," and some people are like, "Yay."
I think they were saying boo earns.
Birds.
Jesus Christ, Spoody, you're on top of the fucking Simpsons references today.
Gotcha.
So
So
you
wait,
people
what is-
saying boo hunts.
I'm saying boo earns.
I've still got like a book. I'm like, what is?
What?
Do you recognize this word? And like, if the camera points down to like Daka's finger, he's pointing at a word, monorail.
Monorail.
Escalate.
What exactly is happening here?
Are you asking that in character?
Yeah, what exactly is happening here?
Vice says, "Okay, this is an audit. We are in the auditorium. Every village in the freelands here has one of these sessions. We'll take a vote on local issues and national issues that have been introduced by the council and assembly. We'll vote on them, and I'll take the results back up the chain. The winners of those will undertake the winning side of each issue. Now, you should note that some issues aren't resolved, and when he says this, there's like the whole crowd is like, ugh, like most things are never resolved."
So politics in a nutshell.
Are we allowed to vote?
You're not a citizen of Wondersaw, so I'm afraid that you're not allowed to vote. But if you were to undertake an oath of loyalty to Stalvin Black, I would be willing to accept you.
So we're not voting.
I kind of look at
I mean,
Daka.
I'm in a bar, so I mean,
Daka does the stank face and no.
Yeah.
Vice is like, "Yeah, I didn't think you'd be into that yet. We'll wait for another day. Hopefully one day you'll join us and help free all peoples from the yoke of the gods. But for now, everyone, let's take our seats. The issue on the table is whether we will resume offensive operations against our southern neighbors. All of those who are for, please raise your hand, and like you can hear someone go, 'Red paws!' and like a bunch of people all raise their hand, and
Wolverines!
all the people that are raising their right hands very specifically in like a closed fist, looks like there's about 120 of them, and like 90-ish other people. Given that there's at least 1,100 voters here, it looks like it's not going to pass. He says, "Who is against going to war?" And like someone's like, "Black Paws!" Someone else is like, "Stalvinists!" Hundreds and hundreds of people are against going to war. There's probably about 200 people who are not associated with either of these union groups. But together, those two groups put together, Black Paws and Stalvinists, are about 800 people. So it seems like joining these factional unions is very popular. So he says, "Okay, I'll be taking this back up to the council. They'll take it to the assembly. We have chosen not to resume offensive operations as we have for many years. We will, of course, defend ourselves if they come for us. And they will always come for us. Now we're going to be going on to the Johnson Yonder issue with the fencing. Please place your votes now for which side should be getting the additional fencing, and it's just like local government, city council business, all the most boring shit in the world. Huge amounts of people abstain from a large portion of these votes. Others seem to be, like, yeah, we should do this or we should do that. Several votes have no resolution because they can't get more than half the people present to vote for them. So Vice says, okay, are there any other issues that anyone would like to introduce? Maybe our guests have a vote that they would like to call for. Now, you can't vote, of course, but if there was an issue you'd like to put before the audit, I would hear it.
That's a strange system, so people can just show up and be like,
oh, sure. I mean, people transit around the country all the time.
We want to make white rice the official food of this town. Down with brown rice.
Well, I think it'd be difficult to import that much rice. We don't have a clear trading lane to the Empire, but...
It just seems strange that we can't vote, but we can put things to a vote.
Of course. Why would that be strange?
Well, let's not get
vote.
Allow me to say, I'm sorry, your name was Finley, correct?
That's correct.
Master Finley, why would we turn down the wisdom of those who are not among us? If you have a good idea, we should hear it.
But I can't apply that wisdom to a vote.
That's correct. You are not one who lives among us. You are not bound by the results of this. You understand?
Oh.
We have to live with our votes. This is our choice. This is how we survive together. But we would be foolish to turn away the wisdom of those who come from afar.
I'll kind of look at DACA, be like, and say to him to where only he can hear it. Say, is there something kind of funny and stupid we could make them do that also benefits us in the long run?
How can we pull a prank on an entire town?
Well, it's not even a prank. I mean, it also benefits us. I'm trying to think.
While you're thinking of that, like back in the bar, Agram's now, while he's still lifting, he's talking to the guy. Yeah, the dwarven system of politics, like, you just get into a fist fight because whoever wins. I mean, it's just honor goals and shit. Like, we never get anything done.
Like, nothing that I could think of that could benefit us, but I think it would be funny to implement an old ritual where everyone walks very funny for a while.
Are you proposing to open the Ministry of Stilly Walks?
Yes.
All right, write it down. We got Simpsons. We got Monty Python.
We put to a vote. This is a superstition that the old gods have. Everyone must, when they first wake up in the morning and first start walking, you must start with your left foot and then take your second step with your left foot, your third step with your right foot, your fourth step, half a step with your left foot, and then you may walk as normal. Believe me, it works. It brings good luck.
So he says, I think you can see on the faces of everyone around here that no one is going to vote yes for this. Even if it wasn't that you were bringing the old gods into us, as we are all devout atheists. You seem to just want us to walk very unusually in the morning, and
if you don't want good luck, then you vote no.
Let's put it to a vote.
Vote no on luck, the thing you need most.
I mean, they defeat it handily. Almost no one votes yes on this. There are several people who do vote yes, but it numbers in less than 20.
I walk up to all 20 people that voted yes and give them a hug, kiss each cheek, and say, you will have good luck.
So one of the women is just like, my baby, hug and kiss my baby, please.
Of course,
Oh
Give
my
him your
God.
blessing as a demigod.
Finley's
Yes.
gonna run for office.
this baby will grow up large and strong. I see good things happening. Teach him to walk. Teach him to walk.
Teach him the walk.
I will do as you ask, Master Finley. Some people are just like,
Good
no,
girl.
don't worship him.
Don't worship him. Follow the gourd.
The gourd.
All hail the Pickle Rock.
Well,
Just to
Doc,
remind
I've
you,
had-
the pickle rock is not an actual rock. It is a giant egg which has a pickle fermenting inside of it.
I don't care. It
Okay.
is since it has so been named the Pickle Rock.
Pickle rock.
Doc, I've had enough. of
Morty,
this
I
silly-
turned myself into a rock. I'm pickle rock.
Look, I did not check the thing to allow Rick and Morty content.
Roll me over so I can look you in the eye.
Nope.
Doc, I've had enough of this silly form of government. Let's go practice for the cooking competition.
Aye. And
Like, I feel like we just walked in a spam lot. It's ridiculous.
This whole meeting has taken 3 hours,
place.
and it's somewhere near midnight when you all break up.
I was thinking the same thing, Dave.
Mhm.
What are you practicing cooking competition? Because you guys
Let's-
have got a weird mix of.
yeah, let's lay out the
Sadly.
ingredients first and like try to figure out what we can do.
Okay, you've got Kelly's mix of basic spices. You've got breads, cheeses, bread that has been toasted to become, and then air dried to become, what do you call them?
Crumbs.
Croutons, breadcrumbs. Ice peppers, which are essentially super concentrated jalapenos. You've got maybe 10 pounds of Northern Frosty Ale that's usable, that's been pre-cooked. 4 pounds of allspice, the pickle rock, ground animal
Could-
tusk, glacier water.
Could we make like a like a chowder?
Yes. You'll need milk
I think we should go for a spicy chowder,
and
boys.
flour.
In bread bowls.
Ooh.
There you go.
Red Bulls, my God.
The likes
Who
of which
designed
no one
this
has ever seen.
meal?
They are
Exactly.
magic. They've made a bowl that is edible.
So maybe you guys should practice making like big bread that you can scoop like
All
the
right,
stuff
so
out
you
or
guys are
something
going to
like
need
that.
to acquire a whole fuck ton of flour and milk.
Well, remember, part of the
We
deal that we
did.
had with the guy
Yeah.
was a lot of basic stuff like this.
Yes.
I thought he
But
had,
they
like,
don't,
flour
right,
and
like,
shit.
he's providing you bread, not flour. He has pre-cooked bread.
Oh well, that's even better then.
I mean, it's like sliced bread, not...
They didn't have sliced bread yet.
They have
Betty White hasn't
loaves!
even been born yet.
They have...
Poland didn't even have sliced bread till a little while ago.
Yeah.
Look, we're not going into Dave's 20-hour TED Talk about Polish bread etiquette.
Hi, I'm Dave Traeger. Welcome to my TED Talk.
They have loafed bread, not that kind of
Okay, so-
artisanal
Well,
bread.
where do they get it from? Did they make it
call them-
themselves?
They
or
make it
like-
themselves.
We call it
have
longboat bowls.
Okay.
Longboat bowls
Yeah.
because you can carve
Make them
out
look like
a
Viking
longboat.
longship. Oh my
And there's
God.
a chowder in it, which makes sense.
Sure,
You make
absolutely.
little croutons in the shape of Viking warriors.
So you're essentially going to get them to... You're going to talk them into making French loaf bread, essentially, for you.
I thought we already had it.
They
You
said it would
need a
take couple-
specific exterior hard crust in order to do that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
like,
so
if they make the bread here, they have flour,
Yes,
so we can
correct.
find flour.
All this is true. I'm just saying you're not going to be able to acquire flour at midnight. But you have come
Oh,
up
for
with a
testing.
plan
Yeah.
to create longboat chowder.
Yes.
What we could do is like begin super slow roasting garlic because we have a whole bunch of wild garlic we need to tame.
Correct.
God damn. Stop
Like-
this shit.
Just start prepping like stuff
Hey.
that we could even do like we've got 5 days. We could do like a fermented black garlic. We could even do like sourdough.
Mm.
Yo, let's do fucking sourdough. Oh shit!
Hey man, prep is like 75% of the work.
Because we're not gonna have yeast. It's all natural leavening anyway, so may as well ferment.
Fuck yeah.
I'm into it. Let's do bread bowls with sourdough, dude.
So
I mean,
in the middle of the night, the warlock heads out to the cooking competition and begins putting a little bit of water at the bottom of the pot and putting a shit ton of garlic at the bottom and slow roasting it. He's
Yeah,
like,
well, it's just
bubble,
like-
bubble, toil and trouble.
Instead
Yeah,
of keeping the fire like at a really low, so it can just like
yeah, exactly.
slowly-
You want to slow cook it.
prestidigitate that fucking
275
flame,
F.
my man.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I assume that Finley is out there burning stuff to help ferment it better or something like that.
Kissing babies and stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going with that kind of
I'm-
Finnish, Swedish,
I am-
burying stuff in the ground and bring
Yeah,
it back up.
let's bury some
I
shark at a beach.
Yeah.
I am stepping forward first with my left foot, then again with my left foot, once with my right, and then half with my left.
Are you really going to try to run for office here?
This is
That
how,
doesn't sound like running to me, Arthur. That
I mean,
sounds like walking.
I am also doing this walking
I
thing,
am
but just because
shuffling.
I am drinking quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm shuffling for office.
This is the mini co-op game inside New Game Plus.
That's right.
Uh,
I'm introducing the people to ragdoll physics.
so here's my question.
Guys, are we doing the filler episodes right now?
No,
yeah,
this is the main story.
But this is like everyone's like when New Game Plus is finished, everyone will be like, "Oh, you can skip these episodes as a filler." The diehard purists like, "No, that has the most plot."
I really
development
don't
and
think you
more."
could skip the food arc, right? I mean, that's always crucial in JRPGs.
Well, I just got like part of the origin story of Stelvin Black, so like this is a main episode, man.
Here's my question. Kelly is passed out in Dennikers. And they're not like there's so many passed out people they can't afford to throw everyone out. They're just getting blankets. Agrim, Finley,
Last man standing.
and Daka, where are you guys staying the night?
I think I'm like set up my bedroll in the cooking tent so I can tend the garlic.
Okay, yeah. Golden Week vacation. Listen, Spootnik, that's what you're doing, not your character.
Persona, baby.
It's when the two rival groups.
This is the middle. This is 45 hours into a Persona game,
Yeah.
and we're doing our little like thing.
Yeah.
No, here's what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen. We're going to meet Stelvin Black on the battlefield, but then we accidentally, like, we meet at the same resort. That's where we meet him. It's not a battlefield. It's the same resort, and we end up like fucking having a good time, like chumming around with him. We play King's Cup with him and his army generals.
Wow.
I'm pretty
And-
sure this happens in the Valkyria Chronicles anime.
Huh.
They're just like, the enemy prince and general are at the same resort as us? And everybody's like, should
Yeah.
we kill them? And they're like, no, let's have swimsuit competition.
Well, actually, I was coming back to our Star Wars game with that.
Oh
Arthur, but
my
that's okay.
god, no. Wow, that's an old callback.
Just wait until we get to the
It's fresh in here.
Just wait till we get to the part of the campaign where we're like pretending to be a dead guy. We're like puppeting him around.
What was the scene for Princess Bride where he's just like, I am the Dread Pirate Robert?
Yeah.
Finley, what are you doing for the night? Are you just sleeping in a tent? Or you trying to
Sleeping.
find a but where? You just like laying down on the ground and sleeping in the open?
Well, that lucky walk is tiring.
He raises a bed of the softest grass from the ground and just
Yeah, yeah.
I tell my supporters to bring me their babies, so I may.
They're
rest
not your
my head on them.
supporters. They're just people who want to be. Let's be
Yeah.
clear here. They're people that you hugged one time. They're not your
Oh.
supporters. They just felt like maybe that walking thing would bring
Your
them some luck.
children,
Uh-huh.
make a bed from them for me.
Yeah, I was trying to find the name of the movie,
Arthur.
Tale of Two Wolves. Weekend at Bernie's. Just wait until the Weekend at Bernie's arc.
Arthur.
Yeah.
A hug is a contract.
No.
So
Druidic
but no, I'm
contract.
going- that's right. So no, I'm going to where we're. the scent of the food that we are cooking is intoxicating.
It's midnight. I want to remind you it is midnight.
And I know, and it lulls me to sleep.
Okay, so you're just sleeping outside in
I'm a druid. Of course I'm sleeping outside.
Fucking tree huggers.
Atomic. What is Agrim doing?
I am. I'm the last man standing in the bar.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Right.
the bar staff is standing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but as far as the patrons,
That
everyone else
one
is passed the
guy
fuck
who's
out.
been drying the cup for 45 minutes, just staring at you. Just fucking leave or pass out.
Let's go.
Everybody else is passed out. What a bunch of sissies.
Agrim's doing the this for
Yeah.
like hours.
Yeah.
What time is it? 1:30 in the morning. What time is it? 1:30 in the morning.
Look, Mr. Dwarf, you don't have to go home, but you have to get the fuck out of here.
You can't stay here.
What?
Yeah.
So what is? Mr.
I'm
Dwarf
going
doing?
to grab Kelly's passed out at the bar, and I'm going to drag Kelly out of the bar and go find Daka.
Kelly, in your dream, all of a sudden, you are being dragged away from your incubus boyfriend who's chasing after you. He's just like, I don't know what's happening. This has never happened to me before.
I'm like a wounded soldier carrying Kelly. Like
You're floating, being raised, and you're like, I can't control my body. Something's happening to me. Oh, now I'm being T-lifted.
You're being raised about 3 foot 8 inches off the ground because that's about where my shoulders are.
You just lifted me with one hand.
At
Okay,
some
just
point, Kelly,
give
I
them
guess
a
you
nod
end up
and wave.
in the wagon,
Mm-hmm. Alright.
where you resume your, let's call it, canoodling.
Yeah. Incubus boyfriend.
Is this really? Is this
powwow
canon?
session.
Finley sleeps naked in the spread eagle position.
I mean,
Let's be clear. I just want to understand. You're sleeping naked, spread eagle, right next to the cooking competition area.
I think that what happens in chat stays in chat, or else it's not fair for the YouTube viewers.
Actually, the YouTube viewers have been
Roast-
telling me that they would like to see links and anything else that I mention happened in chat put in the description section of the video. So the audience says no.
All right, fine. Well, then that's how I sleep, because the breeze feels good on my bits. Moving on.
What? That's how original Kelly rolled, man. You're good. Welcome. You're gonna roast some garlic and you're gonna roast some walnuts. It's
When
fine.
you wake
You're
up,
good.
Finley, you've been covered in a light blanket,
Aw.
but you feel comfortable. You feel the power of nature all around you. It's
That's-
weak here, though. It's not as strong as wherever else you've been.
Sure. It is a city.
It's a very small village.
It is a very small village.
There are no gods here. That's
There
why.
are no gods here. The
Right.
god of nature has
Only-
withdrawn their
only
protection.
slow roasting garlic.
Yeah, this garlic is super slow roasted. I mean, it's been slow roasting for like 9 hours.
Do you guys know what damper is, by the way?
You mean a dampier, the half vampire?
No, damper. It's a way of cooking bread in Australia.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
You get a bunch of charcoal that's still warm, put it in a hole, put some bread and water, wheat and water into a dough, throw that dough in the hole, cover it with charcoal, cover it with dirt.
I've seen people cook
Yeah,
fish like that, like the coal, like tinfoil fish, wrap it, more
Yeah.
coal, bury it. I mean, I guess it's called something different.
Well, that's why they
yeah,
do
no-
like the pigs and stuff in Hawaii and whatever.
Yeah, and then you crack that bread like a coconut and you just eat the nice insides.
Nice. We've got a similar thing called bannock, where it's like the same similar thing like the coals and the whatever, but like you stick that shit on a stick and then roast it over the fire.
That's probably
We have modern appliances in America, so we don't have to worry about that.
I mean, this is like the Native American
Just kidding.
or First Nations bread.
All right. In the morning, I'm assuming Daka and Finley go to order a sourdough French loaf bread to be made.
Mhm.
All right, they're going to require a gold piece to experiment and see if they can even create this today for you.
I'll give you 2 gold pieces if you actually make it. So try real hard.
They're going to need a gold piece up front to get started.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, it's two like aunt-like figures, little broad but very dusty
Stoic women.
aprons. Big forearms to do all of the rolling with. They look like if they're not twins, they're at least closely related. And they nod and say, "You seem like a funny man, but I'll tell you what, we'll get it done.
I
There's
like your
no bread
accent.
that we haven't cooked before that isn't possible."
I believe in you.
So they begin trying to invent sourdough French loaf.
I would like to have, before I fucked off from the bar, have bought their smokiest whiskey if they have it.
Yes.
If they have like a Scottish, like a nice peaty whiskey, I would have bought it, however much that costs.
Okay. You have the bottle in the morning.
And I would give it to DACA because I assume alcohol can be of assistance in something, I'm sure.
Kelly, when you wake up, there is a black rose in the wagon next to you. And it has 6 thorns down the length of it.
Is this supposed to be significant to me?
I don't know. Is it significant to you?
I'm starting to feel a little bit like Harley Quinn in this relationship.
What, abused as fuck?
A little.
The next 2 weeks are the side story where Kelly goes back to get the other Dragonborn girl and does like Dragonborn of Prey.
Ooh, Dragonborn of Prey actually sounds like something I would watch.
Yeah.
I would be down.
So I'll can I inspect this thing? Can I like do like some sort of
Yeah, make a nature check.
yeah, because it seems a little different than stuff I've seen before. Nature or Arcana?
Nature.
Nature? Okay. How's a 5 do you, Arthur?
It's a black rose. You've never seen a black rose before. It seems like it'd be pretty hard to cultivate them. Black isn't a traditional rose color.
What do I remember from the coupling with this dude?
Whatever you feel like you remember. If whatever you want to do is how it was done.
No, I'm not talking about the act. I'm talking about like
You remember everything you choose to remember.
Okay, all right. So in terms of like, there wasn't any sort of like pact or agreement or anything like
No,
that.
you didn't enter into any bargains or anything. It was just like you up and you were like, "Yep,
You just went down to Bone Town.
my parents are gone."
So I just had an ethereal booty call, basically.
Correct.
Is that what that was?
100%.
And if you ask, if you try to figure out where you are, Agram would have told you he dragged you out of the bar.
Well, you definitely recognize you're in your
I don't-
wagon.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't question why I'm here.
I'm just imagining that it's like one guy trying to get Kelly up into the wagon, and then they tuck Kelly in for nights.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Let me ask you this, Arthur. I assume it is, but was it a experience that was good?
If you believe
Or was it like
that
a
it
bad-
would have been, then yes.
Okay, good. I was just checking because if it was like a weird thing or whatever, because I don't know what incubuses do in this world. So, like, are they just like the
You
male
could make
succubus,
a
like-
planes check if you'd like to know more.
Okay, what's a planes check?
Arcana.
Arcana.
I mean, it's the only one we've come across, right? Ooh, damn.
There you go.
Okay,
Nat
that's
20
a
though.
natural 20 on this check. Incubuses can, switch genders with ease. Like being in a succubus or incubus means nothing to them. They're shape changers, so they can become any other creature of medium size that's humanoid with fair ease. They seek to charm others on a regular basis, and if they have charmed someone, they can drain the vitality out of that person until they are left as a husk.
So I don't feel like I'm in a husk state.
You feel
so
neither charmed nor husked.
Okay, so I was charmed by him though, right? Like that's
For a
something that
time,
happened
yes.
to Kim.
Yes.
Okay.
You remember being charmed, but you also remember at the time that you didn't think you were charmed.
Right.
You
Did
also
we- did
now
we-
do not believe you've been charmed.
Did he kill us?
Nope.
No.
Like,
drove
how did
him
we
off.
die in that? How
He-
did
you-
we die in that?
You did not.
So
You did not
the-
die to him.
the
You
very
chased
first-
him into the ethereal plane.
the very first time I went into that dungeon, what had happened is that we, I think, that was one with all the elven armor, right?
Correct.
The very first time we went in there.
Yeah.
What happened was the first time we went in there, Spoot got his ass kicked by running out. They chased him, and that's the one where Daka
Yeah.
said "fuck it" and took off, and we bought him as much time as possible so we could see the rest of the
Correct.
thing. But the
Oh,
second
was that?
time,
Was,
that's one of those two
Okay.
guys in there that were pissed off that
We
we.
got to the Hellhound. There was a Hellhound with
yeah.
X whatever.
But he
Is
tried
that-
you the first time.
Okay.
You found out you like dudes, and then he like pissed off,
Okay.
if I recall
All right.
correctly. That was
So
a long time ago.
Kelly does the fucking like dorky teenage girl smile while sniffing the rose, and
It smells like sulfur.
I mean that's the kink now, I guess. And
Cut to
you know how like
we
you
just
know how,
every
like, you
part of the
smell a
scene we
perfume?
keep cutting
Yeah.
over to a sleeping. We get like very low on the waist, but just not low enough of Finley. And it's just him like in the middle of the night like snoring. You're examining this rose as day breaks, and then we cut to Finley as his body's slowly being revealed in the sunlight.
Oh my god! If Finley snores at
It's
night,
like-
there's probably been a session. There's probably been a part where Agrim has hit him with something to shut the fuck up.
Droplets of dew on me.
I love the idea that there's like birds that have landed on you on your blanket now.
Flowers have
Mhm.
grown, and there's like all the weird like fucking Disney princess shit.
That's right.
I
I mean,
you're a
does you
druid.
still have your loyal legion of rats?
No, they left you behind some time ago.
Sad.
Their local work camp
Finley
rats.
gets that's how Finley gets out of a bar. Is just he's just floating. He's like all the rats are just carrying him out. Oh god, that's funny.
Ride the rat wave.
We can cut to 8 hours from now when your bread experiment will either succeed or fail. Or is there anything you all want to do between that time? I know, Daka, you were interested in maybe starting a research project.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to undertake this, it takes you 7 days. You have to pay at least 100 gold up front to start the research. And if you'd like to pay additional 100 points of gold, you can get up to a +6 bonus for each additional 100 points.
How
What kind
much
of
gold do
research
we
is it doing?
have?
We still got quite a
Lots.
bit. Yeah, we got a lot. What are you doing again? Sorry, I missed this. The project undertaking.
So you'll make an intelligence check with +100. Sorry, you don't have to pay anything to get it started, but each additional 100 points of gold will give you a +1 to your intelligence.
Okay. It's like when I found Stuff in Black's journal, AP gave me the option to like continue researching to find out more stuff.
About the local area, not about Solvent Black, just to be clear.
Yeah, just like
It's about this
history
village of Wondersaw in the local area.
I would like to. I had talked to Doc about this before. I would, if we've got downtime, I would like to start. I want to make a set of half plate for Riverin. I want to start that process.
Okay, I will let you know that iron and steel is extremely rare in this land. You've
Okay.
seen this before. Their houses all are made out of wood, and the wood construction involves as little like nails as possible. We're talking Lincoln log construction type.
Yeah. Do I have access to leather at least? Because
Yes,
I mean,
plenty
I
of
would have
leather.
to start. I would have to
Yes.
start a leather like under thing, and then
Well,
the metal
I-
carapace would go over that. So
I
I just
already
want to.
gave
If we've got
her-
downtime, I want to start.
I gave her my studded leather. It's going to need to be tailored to her anyway. Unless
I mean,
we
I could
did
do
that.
that.
Unless we did that in Magnar before we left. I don't remember.
No,
I mean, I don't-
you can
I don't-
retailer it now if you want to. If you want to do
Yeah,
that,
I
you
mean,
can
I
spend the
don't-
day tailoring it.
Yeah, I mean, if like leatherworking falls under like smithing and all that, because smithing's not just metal. I mean, there's a lot of leather work involved
agree.
too, as well as chain. So, I mean, I could start doing that if we've got some downtime.
Yeah, we'll do a check in a little while to see how
Okay.
well the conversion goes to get to
Sounds
work with her.
Good.
Certainly, her body type as a halfling is very different from stone giant
Yeah.
Daka.
And then if anything else, like I don't know what Doc needs help with something, I can do that.
That is
Finley,
like
what do you got going on for the
some of
day?
your book learning.
I think I'm just collecting more followers.
I will get back to you on this. I can't wait. Kelly, what do you do for the day? Everyone kind of splits apart.
I guess I'll be minding the slow roasting, but also taking the opportunity to get to know Alka, the Glorious.
Excellent. Yeah, Alcar would love to talk to you because you haven't talked to Alcar that much.
It's been one of those weird things where like we sort of accepted each other, and like I've been mentally focused on other things. But now that we've had some time to sort of like relax in a town again,
as
moving,
as you try to resonate with Alcar, you realize you have more access to warlock abilities. When you see yourself reflected in the pot of slow roasted garlic, you can see that you have dwarven runes instead of pupils now.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can I? Well, I don't know. Let's just say if I see what
Yes,
what
the
runes
left
they
one
are.
says knowledge and the right one says power.
I mean, I can always read them now. So
Yes, you can read your own eyes when you look at them. Yes.
Knowledge and power. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
So
wait until his third eye opens up in his courage.
so I do the Prey trailer clip where I'm just like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
I will definitely be taken aback. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your eyes? Which is funny because I have bare eyes, so I can't really talk shit.
So I mean, it's I'm just becoming more insightful. It seems my eyes are open to new experiences.
Hell of a drink, huh? Series of drinks.
I assume that's what's doing it. So I mean,
no,
like,
Alcar is just like, no, don't tell him that. That's foolish. Obviously, you have requested knowledge through our bond, and I have provided it. I understand the fabric of reality because I can slice through it.
I'm gonna actually ask him about like how he came to be and all that stuff. I'm gonna be asking him like basically stuff like that because
Fantastic.
most of Kelly's experience is like as like someone hunting rare and mysterious artifacts. So that's what her first question will be.
We will get back on the break. When we come back, let me write down what we're doing. We're going to learn about Alcar the Glorious's creation from Alcar's point of view, which might be a little slanted. Fiddly is running for office. Agrim is doing smithing via leatherworking, and
Doing
Daka
dwarven
is
shit.
science.
I make sure whoever's got the ingredients down, you do have a bottle of fine whiskey. You write that down somewhere.
Yeah, I would leave that with Kelly.
Smoky whiskey, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking if we can find some
I guess it'd be
fruit,
scotch, but
if we can find some fruit or something more sweet, we could flambe and have a dessert.
ooh. That's what I was kind of thinking with the whiskey too. Is I mean, you could put it in something, cook it off, and
Or you could like soak some wood chips and then we could smoke the eel.
The eel's
Finley.
already cooked though. Just
Finley, we need you to grow us an applewood tree. Stat.
I mean, smoke just to like cold smoke kind of just to give it more flavor.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I specifically tried to get like a peaty scotch. I mean, it'll have that smoky flavor to it. So if you could do that, if we can't smoke something like with wood chips or something.
We'll be back for the second half in just about 8 minutes or so, and what we'll be up to. Stick around or don't. I'm not your boss. Do whatever
Just
you want.
the GM.